Hello and welcome to Under the Bonnet. And I'm not sure, is there anybody in at the moment? I don't think there is anybody here at the moment. Oh, STS is here. Joining a little later. Yeah, will be good to see you, STS. At the moment, I think you're the only one in. So at the moment, I'm going to be talking to myself, but it'll be good to see you later. and Good, I'm glad everything's okay. Thanks for letting me know, STS. Hope you have a good dinner, and we'll see you later. Hopefully, there will be a few more popping in very soon. Have a good dinner, mate. Okay, so as there is no one here, we'll just get on and we'll actually treat it like it's a video. I can see stream status is very good. Just had it confirmed audio and video are very good. So hopefully, if people do pop in, be good to see you. Otherwise, it's going to be very strange, me sitting here talking to myself. But I'll just pretend that I'm making a video. Ah, the bright one. Hey, that's right. I do remember the name, the bright one. It's from a comment a while back, I think. I do remember. You can't forget that name. Um, No, yeah, I'm glad you're here. I think you're possibly the only one here at the moment. But I'm glad you're here because it means I'm not talking to myself, which kind of would be weird. Normally I've got 8 or 9 people in at this point, so I'm wondering where people are. I know STS has had to pop out. He didn't join us till later last time. But as you can see, we're sitting in fourth. There are just 4 games gone. And what I'm doing in this save is I'm taking my time. We're going very, very leisurely. And it's just as well because we have a number of problems. And I don't know, Bright One, if you have been aware of the problems we have. But we have a problem with our strikers. We actually don't have any. And that is a big, big problem. And through pre-season and through the first 4 games, it's been really clear that we have not been able to score goals. And in terms of the tactic, therefore, I just decided to go very possession based. And I may even drop these things down if it's still not working. But we are trying to hold on to possession. We're telling them to be more disciplined, to dribble less, because we want to just hold on to the ball as much as we can and then get it as near to goal as we possibly can, because our finishing is so bad that we need to get it as close to the goal as we possibly can. And in transition, we're basically counter-pressing, and we will hold our shape and slow things down. And we don't want to. Hey, Real Wilson, how are you doing? My main issue with Burnley had to get rid of some of the better players to just try and get a half decent striker, and that is something that I'm looking at. And I do have a number of players like who can I pick on here? Charlie Taylor, for example, he is wanted as a transfer value of between 9.4 and 12.5. I would sell him. Wouldn't have a problem selling him because the previous managers brought in a fullback on loan. He's a regular starter and he needs to play anyway. So I wouldn't have a problem selling Charlie Taylor. Just at the moment, he has major interest from Everton, but they're not making any moves, and minor interest from Brighton, who are also not making any moves. So it's a waiting game, really. I'm not going to transfer list him because if there's problems, if you transfer list him, then they will come in. Yeah, it's a bit like Chelsea at the moment. Yeah. The problem is if I transfer list him, then the amount of money immediately goes down. I'm not going to get 9.4 million for him. What I'm going to get is probably in the range of about 3 million up front and the rest in probably another 4 million in installments. So I'm going to end up with 3 million. And that's really not what I'm looking at. I want to be getting somewhere in the region of at least 6 or 7 up front for him. That will help me to get a striker in. And I'll also need a replacement left back, a nobody really, just to sit on the bench and cover for Maatsen, who would then become the main choice left back. I also have other players wanted. Josh Brownhill is wanted. There's a transfer value of 15 to 16.5 million. I'm not sure he's one I would readily get rid of. He's only 26 and he's a very decent player, and he's not one that I would readily. And the fact that he can play on that right wing position as well as the centre mid is a real bonus for me. So I'm not sure I'd readily get rid of him, but I do have players who can play in those positions. So if worse push comes to shove, I might have to. Jack Cork is wanted. He's not worth a lot of money. I'd probably sell him. He's getting on a bit now. He's 33 years old now, so if somebody comes in with a bit of money for him, I'd probably sell him. And we have Ashley Barnes is finally wanted. Sunderland are looking at a transfer. I've had a fallout with Ashley Barnes. He did reject. I got offered 1.5 million after he wanted to leave. He requested to leave. I transfer listed him. West Brom came in with an offer of 1.5 million and then he turned them down. So it was not to his taste. Hopefully Sunderland might be a bit more of an attractive proposition for him. So there are players who are up for grabs. Now, the other issue that I have is that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players all at the club on loan. Some of them are good, and I, especially the 2 centre-backs, quite happy with them. Not really convinced as yet by Dervis, which is what I'm going to call him because I cannot say that name. Dervis Oglu. So we'll call him Dervis. And not really convinced by him at the moment. And Nathan Teller, is he a good signing? I don't know. Can play as a pressing forward. We've tried him out. He hasn't been that effective, and he hasn't been effective on the wing either. So at the moment, the jury's out on him. Probably not someone I would have signed on loan. So having got 5 loans, I actually thought that I was stuck. Hey, Ben, how are you doing? I actually thought I was stuck and that I couldn't get any more loans in because of the regulations, but it's actually not. I don't think you can be stopped from signing as many loans as you want. If I actually have a look at the rules regarding loans, it just says the match squad must have no more than 5 loan players. So I guess you could have as many loan players in your squad as you want, but you cannot have more than 5 in the match in the 18. Now, I'm just talking about it now. And it is possible that we could, if push comes to shove, we could bring in a striker on loan. And we have been looking at a couple of strikers. And some of them are out of the question. I wish. I wish. Matthew Cunha. Certainly fits the bill for me as a really good pressing forward. He would be like ideal. And his transfer status, he is loan listed. So yeah, in my dreams, I'm yet to talk about him with the agent. I think it's a little bit too early for that, because I'm probably going to, at this point, with 2 weeks left in the window, I'm going to be told some outrageous value and we're not going to be able to afford him. So we'll wait. We'll sit on that one. And then we have this other one that we've prioritized. Again, he's actually on the loan list, but he's 28 years old. So I don't really understand this. Turkish boy. And he looks decent enough. Again, his traits, although we're scouting him at the moment, his traits to me, he looks like he could play as a pressing forward. He certainly seems to, his concentration might let him down and his decision making, but better than what we've got. And then this other one who I quite like the look of, this Jordan Larson, who is also listed for loan, but also given his transfer value, we could actually bring him in as a transfer from Schalke, and he's playing with a very, very good team. And if we look at his stats, he's not been played. He went out on loan last year, 11 appearances. Even out on loan, he didn't play much. And he hasn't, his first season at Spartak Moscow, he got 15 goals. And he's just been kind of ignored. Spartak Moscow in his second season only played 17 times, didn't score. And I guess he's been totally overlooked since then. He had a bad season then, went on to Sweden, had a really poor season, although he scored 3 in 11. And then he's now back at Schalke. He's made 2 appearances, but hasn't done anything particular. I'd be quite keen on possibly bringing him in. Just depends on what the scouts find. Again, he's got problems with his mentals, which for a pressing forward, you need to have good mentals. And then there's this guy. Again, he is a 21-year-old, but we need to find out a little bit more about him. Good aggression, fairly decent composure and decisions for an 18-year-old. We need to find out a little bit more about him before we start looking at these players. And then there is this one again. So we're looking at players who are possibilities. He looks to me like he could be a decent pressing forward, given his concentration. Decisions are not great. But with a 21-year-old, their mentals are never going to be absolutely fabulous. So I don't know yet. The reason why I'm not actually doing anything about them at the moment is because it's better to wait. Marcus Rashford, like he's going to come to Burnley. Oh, yeah, dream on. I wish. So I guess that... Oh, Ben, please don't mention Liverpool. Oh, God. That serves me right, doesn't it? And then, so the reason why I'm going to sit on it, and it's risky, because somebody else may come in and loan them, but I'm going to sit on it because the nearer you get to transfer deadline day, the more desperate these clubs will become. And they, if nobody comes in and wants to loan him, this guy, then on transfer deadline day, or the day before transfer deadline day, he might, thank you, Ben, they might actually decide, hey, we've got to get rid of him at any price. We don't want him here. We want to loan him out, so we might be able to pick him up quite cheap. He did play 29 times last season, only scored 6 goals, and that's probably why he's out of favour at Atletico at the moment. And so if they want to get him out on loan, he'd probably do very, very well in the Championship. He's a 25-goal-a-season boy. And interestingly enough, look who my scouts have found. Ali McCann. What a great player he's been for Preston. In terms of attributes, he doesn't look like he's a great player. But boy, at the start of this, he's 22 years old. I've picked him up when he was 28 years old or 29 years old. So he's got a lot of development and he will develop. But I'm not really in the market for a midfielder at the moment. I really have to solve the striker problem. And it's a patient waiting game. It's got to be a very patient waiting game. And one of the other problems that I have is I don't know who my first team is. I have no idea who my first team is. And I kind of like, I'm looking at it. I mean, we know Muric is the number one choice goalkeeper. Charlie Taylor at the moment is the number one left back. Callum Roberts or Lowton, jury's out. For me, Roberts is a better player. For my assistant, if I do a quick pick, he will pick Matt Lowton. So the jury's out on that one, and I guess I don't know. I definitely know that Harwood Bellis and Bayer are my two best centre backs, both of them in on loan, and they're both playing very well at the moment. Although I do recall that one of them had a brain fart the other day and cost us a goal. Or was that the Preston save? Balick, of course, having signed Balick, I love Balick. He is a very, very good player. And he will suit this DLP role that I want to play. And so he will be first choice. And then we come to the wingers, the midfield, shadow striker. I have no idea who to play where up top. Do I play Vitinha, Vitinho on the wing, or do I bring Dervis, put Dervis on the wing, and then maybe I could play, I think Josh Cullen can play up there. No, he can't, but I want someone who can play a shadow striker. There are players I've got in here who can play that role. Maybe even Teller, can he play? Yeah, Teller could play as a shadow striker. I don't know what I want to do yet in terms of up top. Whatever I've tried at the moment is not working. And I'm not sure why it's not working. Well, I know why. The team's finishing is absolutely dreadful. And also, they do look to me like they're a bit ill-disciplined at the moment and they're not actually following instructions. But I think we should press on because we've got a couple of games to go. We've got, if we look at the schedule, what's coming up, it's very busy, actually. Blackpool will be quickly followed by Everton in the EFL Cup. Can we beat Everton? Well, only if it's a really good day. If we don't have, number of players don't have really good games, then our EFL Cup run is over. Wigan, we should be winning Wigan against Wigan and Millwall. But at the moment, we're not scoring goals or we're not finishing well enough. So I don't feel very optimistic about this Burnley save at the moment. Although we are sitting in fourth, we have 9 points from 4 games. I think we've been fairly lucky. The only game we weren't lucky in was Luton, where we pretty much dominated that game. We are dominating possession against teams, and that is how we're set up to do it. 74% possession against Luton. We have a look at Hull. We had possession 55-45. They gave us much more of a game. Watford was a bit of a shambles all around. Probably my fault, Watford. And I've learned my lesson. I am not coming off the press. We need to press teams high up the pitch. We need to win the ball back high up the pitch. And I didn't do that against Watford, and we paid the price. Hold my hands up. That was my problem. No offers for Ashley Barnes. I thought Sunderland might come in from him. Let's persuade Barnes to find a new club. I like it here now. He doesn't want to leave now. Oh, my goodness me. I'm going to struggle to register. He's very upset, and that's the second time I've upset him. But if he keeps changing his mind, then there's nothing I can do. And if he gets more upset, he's going to spend his last year of his contract in the reserves. I'm fed up of him. Looking at Blackpool, always should have a look at this. If you're playing the game slowly like this, always have a look at this. You might have to concede defeat and list some players on the track to generate the funds. Yeah, I mean, I know, Ben, but I still have 2 weeks, and I still think that I could bring someone in on loan on deadline day when clubs are panicking. I don't know. It's a really tricky situation. And as I said last time, the game isn't this tough on you normally in your first season. And I think what the game is trying to do is to make me panic. And ever since I've been playing this, I've kind of thought the first thing that the game tries to do is it tries to make you panic. And that's why you get all these, like when you scout a player, like 2 days later, somebody goes in and puts in a bid for him. The game wants you to panic and put a bid in for him. And so I think the game is trying to make me panic, and I'm not going to panic and make a silly decision. Um, we know they're pacey, and that always is something that I'm going to worry about. If they're pacey, then I need to keep an eye on that. But nothing else actually um, sticks out from this. Charlie Patino, I think he's formerly Arsenal, isn't he? Um, he's a good player. Yeah, he's that young kid at Arsenal. Um, he's got an average rating of 7.3, so he's someone we should be worried about. And will play as a playmaker. So we'll tight mark him. If he's a playmaker, we don't want him playmaking, and so I need to put somebody on him. Um, we don't know if he's going to be roaming about a little bit, so we'll probably just instruct wherever zone he is for to begin with to tight mark him. And we have a box to box, and we want to make sure that he's not able to actually dribble up and down the field. We want to be taking the ball off him, so we'll have to do something about him as well. If we have a look at his recent form, it's not very good. And yeah, I think 6 point is average overall, 6.85. He's not someone I should be desperately worried about, but he's certainly one that we should be closing down. I think we'll have a look at him later on before the game. And in terms of what they're poor at, their off the ball is poor, and that's good because we can get close to them. They're not very good at crossing, which is also very good, but we'll check their cross completion because this also doesn't always tell you the truth. Average rating of 7, even FM are having a little dig now. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They lack strength, but not enough for me to be thinking maybe I should be playing my strongest team. And sometimes in here you will see with the strength category that it says the players lack strength and that they are able to be knocked off the ball easily. And that's quite a worry for a team if you can be knocked off the ball. And then I would play a team full of strong players and tell them to go and knock them off the ball, basically. Just for lacking strength, no, we won't. We'll keep to our normal team. Aggression, they're not very aggressive, which means that they're not going to be great at closing down. That they're not. If they are going to try and play that way, then they're not going to be very good at it because closing down requires a great deal of aggression and strength. Aggression, it might be a team that we need to get stuck into early on. They lack leadership as well as us. They lack leadership, which means that they could get disrupted. There's nobody there to keep them in shape, and their balance is not good. So if you are going in to tackle them, then they're probably not going to like it very much. And also, their balance means they're probably not going to be very good at dribbling. So there's a lot wrong with them. And what I'm seeing here is their long shots are not very good. If necessary, we could... yeah, the bully ball. If necessary, we could sit back. If they're putting long balls over the top out of desperation, Oh my God. This is sparkling water, which is raspberry and rhubarb flavour. I just wish I'd got actually normal sparkling water. Oh my God. I can taste the raspberry, but the rhubarb has gone missing. Anyway, there's a lot wrong with them. And the thing that actually strikes me is aggression. If we go and have a look how they play, they are going to try and press high. Now, if they're not very aggressive, they're not going to be very good at it. And I don't think we need to worry too much about their press. And I think we should be just playing our normal game against them. Yeah, I know, STS, are you back? That's like the worst sparkling water that I have ever had. And we'll just press on here. There are some games to be played, which means that we could slip down the table a little bit. West Brom are playing Cardiff, and that turned out to be a draw, so we didn't slip down the table. What's really interesting is the teams I'm expecting to see at the top of the league are not there. Yes, Burnley should be near the top, but they're not. Teams like Sunderland, Cardiff, Middlesbrough, Norwich, Watford are all struggling. Sheffield United are really struggling. So it's very, very interesting. Swansea in FM is just either good or bad. And it looks like they're giving Swansea a tough time in this particular save. But Cardiff, yeah, you'd expect them to be up here. But teams like Millwall and of course Preston are a fabulous team. They are surprisingly, given the state of Preston when I took them over in the other save. So it's very interesting that the big teams have not yet, including ourselves, not yet hit the ground. And Data Hub, but does anybody have a look at the Data Hub from time to time? Actually, if you saw my last video, I went in the Data Hub. There are lies, damned lies, and the Data Hub. It was quite interesting. They were under pressure for a lot of the game, so we need to do the same. We need to put them under pressure. Did not complete many passes, so if we keep the ball off them, and Charlie Patino, as we identified, he is their main man. He's a playmaker, and we certainly want to take him out of the game. We don't want him playmaking, and we need to. Sometimes you need help from your assistant, and early in a save is when you do need help. But I'm going to go with the team that I've selected. I've selected what I believe to be the best team. Now, he wants to play Churlinoff on the wing. He can do the job. He could do the job, I think. He looks like he's very decent. I don't know. Do I want to play him or Brownhill? I wonder why he's doing that. So let's go to the medical centre and let's have a look at the players who are fatigued. And I can see why he's doing that. It's Josh Brownhill is tired. He's very fatigued. And also Jordan Bayer is fatigued. And so I know why he's actually done that now in terms of his selection. Brownhill may be a little bit tired. Maybe I should compromise and maybe look at putting Churlinoff in here. I don't want him to be a winger on attack. Support is good enough. And he could do a job, I think, in terms of his form. Someone I've not been that impressed with. Had a fairly decent pre-season. He's not played badly, but he's not played well. I don't know. Brownhill, I think, is a little bit more reliable, but unfortunately, Brownhill is tired. And the other one he recognised was Harwood Bellis. I think it was Harwood Bellis, wasn't it? Who was fatigued. Harwood Bellis, both centre-backs are fatigued, but I don't want to take them both out. And he's suggesting that we play McNally. Okay, let's give McNally a run out. Um, he's 3-star. He looks like a decent player. Why wouldn't we give him a run out? He's got good jumping reach, good heading ability. His mentals are pretty good for the championship. Let's give him a run out, and it means that we can rest Howard Bellis then. Whether or not I would play someone in place of Bayer, I think we'll just leave Bayer there, and if he is tired, then we can swap him over. I never ever leave this to your assistant manager because he makes a complete mess of it all the time, and you never get the substitutes that you want when he takes charge of the subs bench. So I've got Zahouri, I've got Brownhill who can play on the right here. Brownhill can do a variety of roles. Zahouri or Zuri, how do you say that? Zaruri. He can play on the left. Whatever happened to Smith and Jones and Brown and Thomas? Zaruri. And Dervisoglu. No, let's bring back Jones and Thomas and Smith. And I've got enough cover now. I've got cover at both fullbacks. I've got cover at centre back. I've got cover in midfield on the flanks. And Teller, who can come in and play as the pressing forward. This guy is an enigma. Hedilazio. Again, he can play in a variety of roles. The one that's missing is midfield right, but he can play even as a shadow striker, and he can certainly play up top, although he really isn't much of a pressing forward. I was thinking that maybe he's someone I should be looking to sell. Has potential to be a leading EFL Championship right winger. He's a good player for the Championship at the moment. What is his transfer value? He can bring in 4.5 million. Is he someone I should be looking to sell or just hold on to? I don't know. At the moment, he doesn't figure in my team. Really, what I want is Scott Twine back and Ashley Westwood. Getting those two back would be absolutely awesome. You think Teller played well last time? I thought Teller was poor. What was 6.5 and 6.9? I'm not quite sure. He's not scored a goal in the entire time he's been playing. I think he's probably better suited to a wing role somewhere out the way here, where he can't get into any trouble. Can play very tidily out there. I don't know. It's just, I don't know this team well enough, but it just seems to me he'd be better suited out there on the wing. I don't know. I like him on the bench today because he can also play up top. He can play as the winger, and depending on how the game goes, it gives me options. I used to live in Blackpool. Oh, where's my rock then? Burnley versus Blackpool. Yeah, I mean, this, I think, if we go to the club vision, concerned about the decision to loan Marcel. Oh. There's nothing in there. It's Blackburn and Preston are the two that the fans don't like. So Blackpool, they're not too fussed. But we're going to go... Oh, what? Has he changed his mind again? Now he wants Harwood Bellis to play alongside McNally. Oh, what are you doing? Well, if I'm going to put Harwood Bellis in, then we're going to switch those over. Harwood Bellis, I think, is my main defender. He's tired. He wants Jack Cook to play as the DLP. Balick is fine. Teller, he wants Teller in the team now instead of Churlinoff. Make your mind up. So if we put Teller in the team instead of Cherlinoff, it doesn't actually upset things too much. Now he wants Cherlinoff on the left wing. That's probably actually a good idea because Vitinha's form is not very good. So let's put Cherlinoff then on the left wing. I'm willing to go with most of... Ashley Barnes, you're having a laugh. Oh, you're having a laugh. That's the amount of that he's upset me. No chance. Where is my let's go and have a look at Blackpool. I don't think we've really got much to worry about. They're Patino. There's a lot of activity around Patino. We only need to take him out of the game, and I think that will solve any problems that we have. So we'll go forward and we'll go and play Black Sekumara. 20-year-old, 12 to 15 million. That would really depend on selling. That would really depend on selling players. But we'll stick him on the short list just so we can keep an eye on him. I need to actually sort those short lists out. So I will normally have 3 different types of short list. And the first one will be the default where everybody goes. And they'll go there while we're scouting them. Hey, Angel. Glad to see you here. Oh, have they? Man United 1-1. This whole Man United team's starting to worry me at the moment. Thanks for the compliment, Angel. Thank you. And where was I? What was I talking about? I can't remember what I was talking about now. Oh, yeah, my short lists. I tend to have 3. I'll have the first one, which is the default short list. Everybody goes on the default short list while we're scouting them. And then as they catch my eye, I've got separate short lists